Good morning. It is Dr. Rodney here, and this is News and Review, June 28th, 2024. We have a lot to cover today. So, Hawaii, in an agreement with environmental youth extortionists, agreed to decarbonize by 2045. Some of the agreements were a $40 million investment in electric charging stations, and then over a $300 billion investment in electric public transit, and then also banning all new sales of gas-powered vehicles and used gas-powered vehicles. But they are still going forward with infrastructure improvements that will allow more carbon cars, as their current roads are currently congested. No talk about incentives to lower electric vehicle or change in the electric production grid, which is already stressed in Hawaii. The Supreme Court will drop some major decisions. In fact, we are still waiting on most of those to drop. However, they did drop the Idaho one, sending it back to the lower court and still allowing emergency abortions in Idaho. But there will be a lot of new decisions here coming. Trump overcomes the Biden campaign cash advantage after the trial results came in, almost doubling Biden's cash on hand. This is a personal one for me. JJ Redick becomes the new Lakers coach, and really showing how much power LeBron James actually has at the Lakers organization, because that was the person he wanted. And in addition, the other day, the Lakers actually drafted LeBron's son, Bronny James, and this will, if he does make the team, this will be the first time in history that a father-son will play on an NBA team. U.S. Olympic swim team trials have ended, and we have a fantastic swim schedule and swim team going in there. It will be a fantastic and major battle with the Aussie women on the women's side, and also on the Aussie men, but also China will be out there as well. But Katie Ledecky qualified for all 4 individual events. We also have a lot of young guns and young supports. So Lily King will actually compete in both the 100 and 200 breaststroke, becoming the first woman to do that over 3 years, or 3 Olympics. Ryan Murphy became the first man to do the 100 and 200 backstroke over 3 Olympics, so he also qualified for that as well. Americans are title contenders for the synchronized diving after the top team in the world qualified at the diving trials. Missouri and Arkansas enacted a new law for teachers, bringing a state mandate for starting teacher salaries to $40,000 and $50,000 respectively. This has upset veteran teachers who are making that amount after 20 years of service, and mandatory raises were removed, putting the power into hands of the districts. The raise was done to allow rural districts to compete with urban districts to get teachers. However, urban districts are now going to be able to give raises at a much higher rate than the mandatory raise limits were in there. So you're getting back to the competition between urban and rural. In addition, what this really tells us, if we're starting our teachers at 40 and 50,000 respectively, we are starting our teachers too low, and they are the most important thing out there, and that is what that story was missing. Supreme Court rules that guns can be removed from abusers under a restraining order or protective order, which I think is a great thing. In Department of State versus Munoz, the court ruled that a citizen does not have a liberty interest in their non-citizen spouse, potentially putting Biden's new executive order into jeopardy. Russia blames Ukraine for killing now 25 people in an attack. Sha'Carri Richardson wins the 100 meter at Olympic trials and qualifies for her first Olympics. And the U.S. Olympic track and field trials have been fantastic so far. Los Angeles Lakers, as I mentioned, did draft Bronny James. And then the first presidential debate was held this week, and probably the last, because Biden did not look very good. And Trump, because Biden didn't look good, Trump didn't look competent, but he did not impress either. But some notable lines from Biden: I defeated Medicare. No murders or terrorists crossed the border. No troops died under my watch as I ended all wars. Ignoring the 13 people dying in Afghanistan and at least 3 people killed at the hands of illegals in the last few months. Trump was also very unimpressive in the debate. It didn't look like he fully grasped some issues, but Biden just looks so incompetent and really should not have been up there that it made him look competent. So that is the news and review, and this is Dr. Rodney.